The computer. Yes, I'm glad to be here.
All right. So I was this is the last day of the Black History Month, and I felt like this was a good time to have a conversation about where do we go from here, and with the generational wealth beginning at home. I am Leandra. I am a nurturer by design. And I would like to welcome everyone that's here to the Dreamers Conference conversation.
Hey,
Yay!
welcome.
Yeah, being here with my sister is a little funny because we could go on and chat about some of everything. So we're gonna try to keep it on topic. We're gonna try to keep it on topic, right?
Yep.
Right. Okay. But if you before we get started, if you have not already subscribed to the channel, we would like for you to subscribe. That way you will be in the know of what we are discussing and pretty much things that we are looking forward to moving forward in our communities and our households and families and things like that. So a lot the Dreamers Conference bring a lot of dynamics when you think about what we are trying to accomplish with just building our communities. Just to let you know, we are a faith business community. You agree, Danielle?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah. So faith business to us means that we are like sometimes step out on faith instead of doing things the traditional or the what do you call it? What would you call it, Danielle? More like
The textbook, the
textbook.
school textbook way of doing business.
Yeah. Don't always.
Sometimes
Yeah. So
faith
we
overrides the textbook.
yeah. Faith say that again.
Faith overrides the textbook.
Yeah. Yeah. And many a times there's been times where you might have felt like it was things that you wanted to accomplish that you can't see how it's going to happen, don't know where it's going to come from, and you feel like God put it in your spirit to do it, and if He gave it to you to do it, then He'll make a way, and then that turns into you figuring out a way because if He put something in your path to do, you look for the resources that He put inside of you. Because I remember one day He told me plain as day, what you need is inside of you. And so that means whether it's the knowledge, whether it's the resources, whether it's someone He connected you to in the past, it's it's with you. So sometimes, when you say that faith overrides the textbook, even before you get to the textbooks. Yes, knowledge is always power. You always need, as they say, knowledge is the new money. Get you some, SET. But if you before you get to that point, he'll put people in your path that help you along the way. Your intuition will help you. We say intuition, but I know for a fact that the Holy Spirit guided me a long time before I was able to get into a good, business school. But
Yeah,
I had my sister.
and some people get so caught up with the textbook that they don't ever move because they don't have everything lined up according to what the textbook says you should have
Right.
before you step out and try and do your venture.
Right.
So it can paralyze people, but when you have that faith and you're utilizing the textbook for your resources, that all works together. But you can't just be on pause until you technically have everything the way that man says it's supposed to be before you go out. And it's your goal to get it there, but sometimes you have to move. And like you said, God puts people in your place to get it lined up the way it's supposed to be. But you never meet those people because you never move because you're always waiting for what you think man says has to be in order
Right.
for you to
I agree.
God has to wait for it to get in order.
Right. Right.
So if you're willing to learn what that order is.
Right. Yeah. That's true. Because just to give you a little background about the Dreamers Conference, I was going through the race of owning a salon and doing everything that I felt like I was led to do, but I always had the not confusion, but it was just never the peace of knowing what I was doing was the correct thing to do. And with you having your master's in business administration, I always would tell you that, girl, you can teach these chapters by chapters. We can just do like a group setting, and you can just teach me. I wanted you to be my personal professor. So with that being said, I'm like, well, let's put a conference together then, so you can just teach me. And if you need to teach me, I know I got some friends that are going through the same thing, because I was a dreamer. I am a dreamer. I can ride past a business and literally like it'd be an empty like for lease sign or for sale sign. And what
Mhm.
I'd be like, oh damn, we can do that in there. We can do this.
Mhm.
So just always having the faith to step out. I just appreciated you having the book, the not, the textbook knowledge to always ground me, to pull me back in and say, okay, this is what you want to do,
Mhm.
and this is how we're going to structure it. You are always my business plan. Go to.
Mhm.
I have an idea, Danielle. Can you build me a business plan? And you've never told me no. So for that dreamer that's like outrageous, people feel like they just always doing something. You know what I'm saying? You were never that person to me. You were always there to bring that
You
dream and
definitely
put it to paper.
you definitely need a team. Like it's hard to do without a team because I'm not the visionary. Like I'm the textbook person. Like so you just need a team to balance out,
Right. Yeah. So that's why we
everything.
call it the faith business community, because everyone is working towards a common unity and a common goal. And the bigger picture is to grow around us, to grow the communities around us. A lot of times they speak about, with it being Black History Month, we always talking about the economic disparities and things like that that's going on in the community. And it literally came out of the fact that I know that um, it's so many people with goals and dreams inside of them. They just don't know where to go to get it done. Where do I get the financing from? I have these big dreams and these big goals, but if I don't have the finances or the credit score or the things to put towards it, it just becomes something dormant. And then we forget the dream. We just like can't even see it no more. Someone come to you and be like, oh yeah, no, that ain't me, kind
Hmm.
of thing. And you get stuck in this rat race kind of thing. So
Hmm.
yeah, so that's that. So we're at the faith business community. And so anytime we come together, I'm here to remind you that leadership is an action, not a position. And sometimes I am not excited about leadership. Leadership is not always where you have to, um, you know, tout it, let shout it to the rooftop. I'm the leader, because it's not always fun, right? Well,
Hmm.
yeah. So with that being said, it's an action and not a position. And the aim is to always speak life, raise self-awareness, and ignite and inflame your passion by reinventing what is necessary to become the structure God designed to pursue His strategic plan for your life. You need me to say that again? That's a mouthful. Did you get what I said?
I got it.
You got
I like it.
it. Yes. So, with that being said, we're going to move right into what we came here for, and that's to speak about the generational wealth. All right. You ready for that? Before I get started rambling, what you think about generational wealth? What you think about it? I
I
mean, I look
think
at you
that
like being wealthy, so don't just listen. I'm just saying, you my baby
so
sister, so I can say
um
that.
so I think that it's really important to try and establish generational wealth beyond just money, but generational wealth of just knowing down the line that your children will know how to take care of themselves and their children will know how to take care of themselves, whether it's knowing where to find resources, knowing how to find resources, knowing how to find the information that they need. Because as long as you can figure out how to find resources, then nothing is ever off limits to you.
Right.
And I feel like that's how you create that generational wealth, by teaching your offsprings and that next generation how to go about seeking out whatever resources that they need. I laugh all the time because as a teacher, I give a lot of open book tests and a lot of like open resources tests. And for me, I'm like, I don't want to teach you how to remember stuff, like
Right.
just
Right.
memorize stuff. If for me, if I could teach you how to go find the information that you need to be successful, then I feel like I have taught you a better skill than you just memorizing some facts and then spitting them out a week later and then forgetting them the next day.
Right, right.
For me, teaching you how to search for what you need to know is more important than you just memorizing some random stuff for a test.
That's true.
So,
That's true because sometimes, like, you know how you when you read scripture, you be like, I remember that it was, I remember it was in the Bible, but like, you trying to remember the scripture because that's what we was taught. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be able to spit it out. It says Psalms 23:1. It says and so when you find yourself not being able to spit it out, you feel less than. But I have found too that when I am able to put it in context, I'm able to go back and say, well, I know that was in Job, but that was in Esther or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're able to put it in context. And then every time you go back to that, you're able to get more out of it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Versus just being able to spit out that one scripture that, as they
and
call it, the
especially,
memory verse.
yeah, and I think when I was in purity, learning how to use that concordance and look up, like, you might not remember everything, but if you could remember one key word from that scripture, I don't remember the whole scripture, but I know it talked about this, and then I could go back there and look and find it, and then also find other scriptures that talk about that same topic.
Right.
I think that was more important than, like you said, memorizing that one verse, because as you're looking for that one verse through all of the other references and resources, God can lead you to other stuff as well.
Right.
And like when they also give me, because I don't just give them one little document, like, how you do the cheat sheet. That's so
right. So when I Googled, of course I had to Google. Google is our research friend. So it says, according to the Clever Girl Finances, generational wealth is basically wealth that is passed down from one generation to the next. You may also hear it called family wealth or legacy wealth. If you are able to leave something behind for your children or your grandchildren, then you are contributing to the growth of generational wealth in your family. This wealth can be in the forms of real estate assets, stock market investments, or financial education, as Danielle was saying, to carry forward in the future, right? So those are the things that we commonly hear when we think about generational wealth. And do I have anything to leave my my children and their children and things like that? But I want to step out there and tell you what, like the Dreamers Conference. Well, okay, so the Dreamers Conference would like to add to their definition, and I'm gonna say preface it because I think that there's some things that needs to happen before you get to the place of what you're gonna leave somebody as far as financing, right? I know you like, here we go.
let's
So
see.
it to me, I think it takes a mindset, to say you're gonna leave, because I've heard things like, I'm not leaving them jokers nothing, you know. Um, they ain't gonna do nothing but run through my money. You got any what you done heard, like
All the same ones. I'm gonna spend it. I done saved all of this, took care of all of this, and they gonna just not value it, spend it, waste it.
yeah,
After I done protected it my whole life to leave to them.
yeah, yeah. So so um like what was the other one? I said I can go on and on about the negative talk of generational wealth. Being that I work hard all my life and they not going to appreciate it. All of the things that you hear that makes you think that it's crazy to leave uh a generation something. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know what that means. Sometimes we think about it as just being like a life insurance or something like that. Like you leave a life insurance. But I think that it starts with like empowering conversations. Like if we could just reverse the thinking of I'm not leaving them jokers nothing. Let's talk about that in a different way. You know, you got anything to say on that one? Because I'm a check over here.
No, I think that's good. Changing the narrative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let me see. I had got excited about that because when I hear people saying that, for me myself, I find myself as a workaholic trying to make sure that I'm leaving them something, something. And I understand that sometimes you think it's about a business. I'm thinking people ask me all the time, like, which one of your daughters are going to do hair, and I'm telling them, no, they're not showing any interest in hair, but they're showing interest in compassion for people and they want to serve people and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. So just understanding and watching those patterns of what you've done throughout the years, what they've seen you do, how they've seen you sacrifice, those kind of things are things that is able to be passed down because no, they might not want to run a beauty shop when they get older, but if I'm expanding and doing the right things with financial literacy and things like that, those are things that will be able to, carry them through.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
completely. I
Yeah.
agree completely. It's not about a specific skill, but knowing how to take whatever it is you want to do and apply the principles you've learned from watching your parent or whoever that is that you're watching and applying it to your dream.
Right.
Because my dream might not be exactly like your dream, but I can take some of the principles that you use to accomplish your dream, like the hard work, the sacrifice, and all of that, and apply it to me accomplishing whatever my dream is.
Right. 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 So in your profession, which is your teacher, right? You're a teacher and
Mhm.
you have your master's in business administration and your master's in educational
Educational
leadership.
leadership. Hmm.
Yes. Okay.
And
So
I'm going for
can
my
you
doctorate in educational leadership.
are you going for your doctorate?
In educational leadership. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So a lot of times we speak about what we think children need, what we think kids need, you know what I'm saying? But when you're in school looking at what they're going through, like is empowering conversations like an important part of generational wealth? What you think about that?
Absolutely. So I've taught in so many different types of schools, from low income to not so low income. And one of the main things that students need is that they can accomplish their dreams. Like they think that, especially in school, they think that they're just there to get that A or B or pass and get that diploma. But far too often, I run across students who are lacking someone who just believes that they can accomplish what they want to accomplish, or even care to ask them what do they want to do. Everybody just assumes that it's graduate high school, go to college, and get a job.
Hmm.
But I like to have the conversations, and I'm fortunate enough to have the conversations because one of the classes I teach is entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So I'm fortunate enough to have like platform to have those deeper conversations of what it is you really want to do. Like if you could do anything, like what is something you love to do, and how can we figure out how you can make money at that, and so to support your life. So I think that many of them didn't even register that it was another path other than either go to college
Hmm.
and do what you need to do, or go to work, because we've labeled in America college and career readiness.
Right.
But career don't necessarily mean like you have to either go to college or you have to go straight into the workforce. You can work on developing your own dream and being
Right.
your own person, but that is not intertwined in that standard that we've created in the United States. You need to be college and career ready.
Right.
So I think those empowering conversations to let our young people know that it's multiple paths to success. It's multiple paths
Right.
to that it's not just a binary thing, this or that. And if you're
Hmm.
not in this career or in college, then you are a failure or
Yeah.
a loser.
Yes. You don't have these, or you are. Oh, I don't know, like you all over the place. Is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's what you label as
And
all
it's
over.
not, and I also let them know it's not one or the other. Like I have one of my students who sent me a message that she's in college and she started her online boutique. So she
Right.
was really excited that, what I'm saying, that was a thing that she developed in class, and then she has gone live with it. So you just, the empowering conversation is that I feel like our children are lacking the fact that they have options, because a lot of times we feel like we don't have options. We haven't been afforded the ability to have options.
Right. Right.
But just to let them know, like, man, there's options out here. You don't have to go straight into the workforce and slave away at a job, and you don't have to only strictly focus on college.
Right.
You can.
Right. Because when you speak of that, just the empowering conversations, I think about when my mom was when I when I was in high school and I knew college wasn't for me in high school, because I come to the conclusion that I had a terrifying experience from my brother. My brother, he's older than me. So just real quick, he was in high school when I was in like the third grade, and he was doing a um what do you call it? Research paper? What y'all call it? Term
Mm-hmm.
paper. He was doing a term
Term
paper.
paper.
They had to have the index cards and all of these things that he had to have, and it literally when I say it terrified me, I can remember the feeling and the fear right now. It terrified me, but I guess now at the age I am, I understand when you get to that point, you will be ready. But as a third grader, all I knew was I did not want to go to school. I didn't want to go to high school, let alone to college, if that's what we have to do. So I literally did a life avoidance of higher education and call myself going to do hair, make it easy. They say I ain't got to go to college. I can just go do hair, and then become this like overeducated hairdresser. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So you just go all in on education, and I want to know more, and I want to know more, and I want to know more. So even though it didn't look the traditional way of success by going to college, I've been very successful in the hair industry, and it's been my career, to just drive home that importance of it being a stable career, even though I didn't go to
Yeah,
college.
and my empowering conversation to them is that to not feel, because you inherently feel like, man, I didn't do, I'm doing lesser than, it's lesser than because I took another route. When those other routes, if you're going into some type of trade or anything, is not a lesser than route, but it's been ingrained that, if I take a trade or if I didn't go to college, then I settled. But it's not, like, it's just a different path to your success. And to
Exactly.
not even take on that mentality of feeling like you're lesser than, or you took
Yeah.
a route that was not as great as somebody else's.
Yes. Yeah. Because my sister, that she, Trinette was always my cheerleader when it came to that because we were licensed by the same board. She was an RN. And when I would talk to her sometime just about how I felt and kind of things, and she would tell me, "Girl, we licensed by the same board," and so her empowering me and making me feel like I am just as included as a professional as everyone else is pretty much
Mm-hmm.
probably made me like the beast that I am when it comes to what I love with hair and stuff like that, because it always gave me that, don't hold your head down because you didn't
Mm-hmm.
do that or didn't do this. Like she was an RN, you are an educator, you know what I'm saying? Like we have our own paths that we all went through. And I know it comes from, our mother, everyone's mother, that like pretty much championed any and everything that we put our hands to do. She didn't really do the you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You need to be a doctor or you need to be a this.
Uh-huh. And that generational wealth, that empowering conversation. And I don't know if you going here, but I'm going here
Go
because
there.
I
Go there.
run my own path. But like those empowering conversations, when I got pregnant my senior year of high school, when I got pregnant my senior year of high school, it could have went one or two ways. It could have went, oh, you done messed up your life. You need to go get a job. You got a baby to take care of. I ain't help you with that baby. I didn't make that baby. Or it could have went like your life is, you didn't ruin your life. You made it harder, but you can still accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. And she took that ladder, like continue to fill out your college applications, continue to, go
Yeah.
on your dreams. And then she helped me achieve that dream of going to college right after my baby. And, with all helping me find all the resources I needed and all that kind of stuff. And so those empowering conversations, like she had the power to either step on my neck and hold me back
Right.
or propel me forward.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
everybody has those choices. They come across those crossroads where you can either you know, hold somebody back, or you can have an empowering conversation to encourage them to move forward,
Right.
even in their mistakes or things that may be a hindrance, but not something that is going to totally stop them.
Right. Right. Because when you think about like the just the generational wealth of conversations, you hear what is going on in the house. You know, you hear um the negativity. I talk about the body language. You know, just you know that whether mama is pleased or not pleased, or whether your idea was good or not good. You know, you come and say you want to do, you want to make, so you want to quilt blank, you what is it, crochet blankets or whatever. You know, anything. You know, and trust me, people make money off of, you know,
Mm-hmm.
knitting, if that makes sense. But if I was to come and say, you know, I think I want to knit for a living, you know, it's your like your initial like what, or okay, well, let's see how we can, you know, how we can get these things
Mm-hmm.
started. And so with that being said, it's just when you start to empower, I've had people that says, you know, it's just all over the place, she doesn't know what she want to do, it's just, you know, kind of thing. And it's like that person is like literally feeling smothered, like they can't, like they feel like they are out of place in their home. You know, like I've been an entrepreneur since I was 16. I've never had a traditional job, you know, but my mom didn't make me feel like, you know, like I was just pipe dreaming, you know what I'm saying? It made me feel like with the conversations and the things that they drilled down in me, you know, the work ethics, the work habit. Yeah, if you're going to be your own boss or your entrepreneur spirit self, if you're going to do, you're going to have to do it. So I remember when I got ready to go get my apartment, you know, I tell my dad, you know, we talk to dad, and I tell dad, you know, daddy, I want to go stay in the Mansards, which is in Indiana. You know, I want to go stay in the Mansards. And he was like, okay. You know, at this time, I had just probably been doing hair maybe a year or two. No, maybe, yeah. So 17, 18. Oh, no, a year. So 1 year I had been professionally doing hair. And I'm working in a salon, and you know, and I think I'm ready to go now. I'm ready to move out. And I remember him saying, because I needed a co-signer because I was young, 18 years old. And so he says he'll co-sign for me. But the first time he have to pay my rent, him and mama was going to hang in my apartment for a month, and I was going to come and keep you and Jeffrey and Andre. So I would be moving back into their house while they come and take my apartment for a month if he had to pay my rent. So what that meant was, if you don't go to work, if you don't have the work ethic that it takes to take care of yourself and sustain yourself, you
Mm-hmm.
know, then you know you're not going to be able to enjoy that apartment that month or whatever. So without him saying you can't do it, or or you know what I'm saying, or you don't make enough to move out on your own, he let me know that you have to work hard if you're going to do your own thing. You know, you have
Mm-hmm.
to be self-motivated. There's nobody going to get up and come get you. You're not going to get a yellow slip if you're a pink. Oh, is it yellow or pink? What color is it? A pink slip?
I don't know.
You're not going to get a
Praise
pink.
the Lord. I don't know.
You're not gonna get that email or that pink slip if you don't go to work. You just not gonna be able to keep your apartment. So the work ethic was told to me in a different way than a negative. You know, so I guess what I
Mm-hmm.
want to pull out of this conversation is just be mindful on the conversation that you're handing down from
Mm-hmm.
generation to
Yeah.
generation.
And I would say that conversation like that my mom had about her being disappointed that, you know, I made that decision for myself, but but now that it's made, let's move forward. Like,
Right.
ain't nothing to do. But I think that was generational wealth, because now that is how I approach not only my children, but any person that I come in contact with that feels like they have made such a bad decision, or such a decision in their life that has halted their plans, that I can tell them that, you know, no, it hasn't halted your plans. It may have made your plans or your road a little more difficult, but yet there's still a road there for you to travel.
There's still a
But
road
you
to
just have
travel.
to work that much harder
Mm-hmm.
to achieve what it is that you want. And so by her by her having that conversation with me, it put that in me to have that conversation with my children, my students, my friends, everybody else that anyone that I come in contact with, to spread that. And that is creating a generational wealth of knowing how to encourage and uplift versus shooting somebody down and making them feel like they can't move forward.
Accomplish the goals. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. And so I'm gonna turn a little corner here and talk about the unpleasant, empowering conversation. I think about the when I think about unpleasant conversations, I think about my son and the difference between. So I have all four children, two boys, two girls, and I call them two pack. I have a older set of boy and girl, younger set of boy and girl, and my second son, the middle son, is a little different than the first girl. So with them being side by side, you have no choice but to compare actions, compare, you know what I'm saying, like just different ways that they communicate. And so you find yourself, I found myself like just I found myself. Let me correct that. I found myself just, taking the same route that I took with my oldest, Joy. And I just remember this day where it was like Philip asking me questions, can I stay? Can I do this? Can I, and I'm like, well, Philip, and I'm trying to negotiate. I'm trying to talk to him because, with Joy, I can state my feelings. She can state her feelings, and we could come to a compromise in the middle that's going to make both of us happy, right? Um, but once I realized that Philip has a little more willpower than I had, patience to compromise, then I found myself just being like, like this, he's pushing me over. So I realized that that conversation that I was trying to have, like just to keep him on the adult conversation, not adult, but you know what I'm saying, respecting his wishes and all of those things. And I realized I'm gonna go back to the Joker. This Joker needs me to tell him what I am and what I will and will not accept. And so what I realized is that he's a different person when it comes to the empowering conversation. He needs the boundaries. He needs to be told these are the boundaries. Do not cross them. You can't give him the option to make the boundaries because his boundaries is going to overlap yours and then take it over because that's why he's a great running back. He don't see boundaries. He see a pocket. What is it, Danielle? He see a pocket and
Get
take
the
it.
pocket where he can get through. He can see he see his route to getting through there.
We going through that. We go. Oh, she a little soft on this side. Let me hit that. So
Yeah.
I realized that I have to have a strong defense when it comes to him. So whether that means my voice got to be strong, whether that means that my conversation has to be no, and I mean no. It's a different conversation than I had with Joy. If I spoke the way I speak to him to Joy, oh, we would be like weeks trying to, mend that. Joy, I didn't mean it like that. It was, I'm sorry. I can't. So understanding that the empowering conversation does not always come across as being timid or soft. Sometimes your voice is just, you have to know your audience, right? What'd you say?
Mm-hmm.
So because,
Yeah, well, my audience is me, and I don't have that. Like, I rarely. So with mine, Elijah is a boundary pusher too, but I just move with him. Like, so we over here now. So like, now what's your decision now that we over here? Because this is not where we wanted to go, but we here now. So now what decision are you making? So um I don't have, I guess that's why me and Anthony balance each other out. Like I'ma just roll with it. Like, oh, this where we at now. Now what decisions are you gonna make to get yourself out this hole that you put yourself in? Because
right,
I told you not to go over here. But you over here now. So now let's how we getting back, And
right.
so
Because the
but
point,
I think my patience with that is like And I think just being working with kids, like you have 30 kids in the class with all different personalities. So I just kind of take the ride with each one of them. Like, where are we going? Like, how we navigating? The goal is to pass this class. Now, all y'all taking different routes to get there.
Right, right,
Journey with each one of y'all to get to the goal
right.
of.
Right. That's what I was gonna say, because the end goal is to always be good. As the
Yeah.
parent, it's just like you're not sitting there to watch them suffer. You know what I'm saying? So even if you'd have made the decision to get yourself into something that you really can't get yourself out of, it's like that's where the conversations and the empowering conversations come in to say you got to figure this out. You have to figure this out. I'm not here to cripple you. I'm not here to soften your blow. I'm here to help you understand
Yeah.
that it's all for the greater good. So you're gonna have to figure it out. So hey, let's
Yeah.
write some stuff down. How are we gonna get out of this? What's
Yeah.
what's
So
your options?
Me and Anthony's parenting styles is a lot different though. So we often clash because of those parenting styles because he like, you just go along with him. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going along with them to help them navigate wherever they going
Right,
because
because I'm not
I'm
gonna
not
be
gonna
with
be
him
with them.
always, and if he gonna make these
So
decisions with or without me,
yeah, like I'm navigating, I'm right there with you. So like when you break through, I'm coming through the path with you. Like, okay, we here now.
in
What
your
you want
face,
to do now? Like I
in your
told you, don't go through there.
right,
Whereas Anthony Fussell, like I told you, now you here. Now what? Like now his is a little more,
yeah, yeah,
but mine is more like
yeah,
I, I tried to tell you, don't go through that dark path right there.
right,
You can't.
yeah,
So
right,
it's always funny to watch us try and navigate that because his is he gonna do everything he can to board up the hole, to
right,
I got to lock them down so they don't go in that hole. And my philosophy is more like if they want to get through that, they gonna get through that. If
right.
they gotta go over your board. So I just try and talk to them about,
Once you
why
break
they
through that
shouldn't
hole,
go
what's
through
on the
that.
other side of it, and are
Yeah.
you willing
Like
and ready to deal with it?
yeah, like why you shouldn't go through there. Like I'm gonna leave it, the hole is there, but I'm telling you now, like this is not what you want to do.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it's
But
always funny
yeah,
to,
so
to
I'm enjoying this conversation. There's a lot more that I would like to dabble into. We was talking about the benefit of the doubt, and when I did the definition and asked what does that actually mean, and it was saying the stating of accepting someone as honest or deserving of truth, even though there is a doubt that they might be lying, right? And so
mm-hmm.
so um I just think that and just a quick twist on there with the Dreamers Conference is, like they might be thinking they're gonna be great one day. They're gonna I'm gonna rule the world. Give them the benefit of the doubt. They just might. They might be
Mm-hmm.
president. But if you sit there like this joker ain't got grades to be no president, it's like you're not giving them the benefit of the doubt, and where I think that's a part of how we get to where we are. Like your parents and I think about like, even just back to your, just as you pass down, that you have to trust. You have to trust the next generation to get you to use the things that you've taught them and things like that. And I tell everybody that I guided, you know what I'm saying? I guided, I raised, you did not praise. I guide, raise, and praise. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you guide them where they need to go. Then you raise them. You say, okay, these are, you're going to nurture the soil. You're going to nurture their environment. You're going to nurture these things. You're going to it's just like a plant. You're going to raise this plant is just growing, growing, growing. You know what I'm saying? You guide them to the right place. You grow them
Mm-hmm.
up and then you praise them. It's like I walk to my plant. Oh, you looking so good today. Oh, you need a little water, kind of thing. So with that being said, it's like those things are important when you're talking about giving the next generation the benefit of the doubt. Because if we the older generation and you just like, oh, you just dogging them out all the time. It's like you can tell that you don't have no trust in them to come out
Mm-hmm.
on top. What you say?
Yeah, they make it hard though to give them that benefit of the doubt because I'll be watching them come up like, oh, bruh.
Yeah.
But no, you definitely have to make a conscious decision
Yes, that's what I'm
to
talking. Yeah.
to give them the benefit of the doubt because some of them you'd be looking like, but maybe on that slight chance that it might be there, you don't want to kill it.
Yes,
So
that's right. That's right.
you definitely have to make a conscious decision. And I work on that with my kids in sports because I'm real competitive. So if they had a bad game, I do slam them. But they could have had 3 good games right before that. But I'm a harp on that bad one. So I'm still a work in progress, with my own children. Now, if it was my student, I would be like, don't even worry about it. You got the whole next game. So, but I'm real competitive, like to a fault. Like I'm super competitive. But I am working.
I have nothing to say about that. We already. You see, we on the split screen anyway. So trust me. It's
I am a work in progress on that. I could speak life about everything else, but if you had a bad game, we got a problem. Like, bro, what was you doing?
What was you doing? You was tired? What was you
like? You know how to play? You was scared?
We go. I don't want to mess with that too much because I got brother-in-law over there to be like, they need to work harder, So
they definitely do. But we work, but you still that praise. You know what I'm saying? You can find in any situation you can find the good, and they wasn't all bad. Like one of the ladies I like to listen to on she had a TED talk, and I have to look up her name, but she said, you got to find the good in any situation. She said it was a kid that had missed 18 out of 20 on his test. And she put +2 instead of -18. And she put, we gonna get more next time, and a smiley face. Yeah. And so he was shocked to see the +2, like, but I did bad. She said, but you wasn't all bad. You got some of it right. And so just finding
never forget that.
You know what I'm saying? Just finding that good, that big -18 is a blow. And even +2, you got 2 right, but you see +2 and a smiley face, it puts you in a different mindset and feeling than -18F.
I love
like
it.
You weren't all bad. So I think that as people that are over people that have influence on people.
Yeah, guide them, raise them, and praise them. That's right. Yeah.
Find something good in it. And so that stuck with me. Like,
now you have to tell them about their game. You have to give them their pointers. You have to do that. But don't leave it off at that. Don't let that be the last thing they went to bed on. You know what I'm saying? You have to go to kneel at that bedside, be like, but you was bad though. You look good though. You want to see your, you know what I'm saying? You did get,
You had good defense. You find something. So like she let them know, like, you need to get more. You're gonna have to get more, but we're gonna get more next time. We're gonna work on getting more. But be glad that you wasn't all bad. You got some of them right. You got some right.
So that's been a good thing. It's been a good call. I'm not sure how long, I'm into the new technology thing. I like in-person kind of thing. So I don't want to get cut off and don't know when I got cut off. So what I'm going to do, we're going to wrap it up because we can keep going. And we have more that we wanted to speak about. We have a Martin Luther King, you have the
Oakland. So just real quick. So I don't know. Maybe it's when I got my locks or whatever, but I feel like I have learned just so much more. And I feel like the version of Martin Luther King that they gave us was the version that they wanted us to have. And I kind of had like this, like, man, he was kind of soft. Like, and I love Martin Luther King. He did a lot. But I feel like they gave us that watered down version of him because that is the version of him that they wanted us to know. But I read his letter that he wrote when he was in the Birmingham jail, which they don't publicize that. They publicize the I Have a Dream speech that they had him rewrite because they didn't like what was in it. They don't tell us that either. But his letter that he wrote to preachers from Birmingham when he was in jail in Birmingham, and he let them have it. And I really enjoyed reading it. And one day, we got more time, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. But no, I think we're good. Let's go. Tell me what was the just you go. You tell me what we need to know right now about what you discovered.
So, what I discovered when they talk about he was the nonviolent type, he he utilized nonviolence to show how violent people were against people being nonviolent. So it wasn't to just be nonviolent to say we take it because we nonviolent. In his letter, he was letting them know that one thing he wrote, he says the preachers wanted him to like, they was trying to figure out why you doing all these sit-ins and marches. Shouldn't we just be talking to them? Like, isn't negotiations better? And he was like, of course negotiations are better, but they not negotiating with us. And when they do negotiate with us, they don't uphold their end of the bargain. So what he said was, he said his nonviolent direct action seeks to create such a crisis and foster such a tension that a community which has constantly refused to negotiate is forced to confront the issue. It seeks to dramatize the issue that it can no longer be ignored. My citing the creation of tension as part of the work of a nonviolent resistor may sound rather shocking, but I must confess that I am not afraid of the word tension. It says nonviolent tension is necessary for growth. So he was using that to show that with me just sitting here being nonviolent, these people are so hateful, so racist, so ignorant that they will resort to deadly force if necessary and we want to expose that to the world. So I'm gonna just sit here and be present
and just be black
and watch them act a fool and show the world that look, I ain't even do nothing. And they just acting a fool. But he was sitting there to show like they gonna act a fool, just wait for it. And he had to train people to sit there. Like people had to go through classes and train. And the questions was, can you sit there and take it? Can you sit there and not react? Can you sit there and let them do this? Because once you react, it's gonna change the narrative to you make you did that.
I need to hear that right now in my real life.
They had to train to not react because they wanted them to look as bad as possible to the world.
Right. Right.
And that's different than I'm just so nonviolent.
Right. Just beat me. Just beat me till
like,
I die.
No, come on, show the people how dumb you are. And they fell for it every time. Every time. Like, y'all ready? He said he was willing to sacrifice his body to show the world how hateful these people were toward Black people. Yeah. And you have to be willing to sacrifice your body to show the world how hateful these people were,
right,
to the world.
Right. And so when they talk about that, you just continue to take these stories and hand them down. Well, for where we are now, it hasn't changed that much. As you can see, you might have a few people that has come to, as they say, come to Jesus moments to say, okay, I used to be that way or I'm not anymore. But you still have quite a few people that still have that same type of mentality towards skin color. So with that being said, when you're handing down this generational wealth, you cannot do it without handing down the history, his story, her story, my story. You have to do it, which one of the things I said was that someone in the family has to be the mind master. Has to be the one to say, I'm going to collect the stories of the families of our family, who's come through what medical history, criminal history, just all kind of things. You don't want to find out in the end who was who in the family, So all of these things are stories, histories, and things like that you want to be the narrative of. What is Danielle's story? I would not want somebody outside of our family to come and teach your children your story. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's important for us as family. Oh Lord, what is
I wanted to put the what is it, the disclaimer. The Dreamers Conference did not say that Martin Luther King was soft. Those are not the views.
No, this is what it's about. I told you the hard questions around. Hard questions. That's a hard. You don't think a black boy that has to come up against gang violence, racism, pay disparity, all of these things. Do you think he has the mindset to say he's going nonviolent without understanding what it took it's
Mhm.
definite. He's looking at Martin Luther King too, like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Stand up for yourself. You understand what I'm saying? That's how you get this whole like this violent movement because they refuse to be looked at as punks. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But
So
understanding a different view that that's not where it was. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what it was. You get a
so
different
it forced
understanding.
people to have to address it, and it forced people to say people would want to live in a bubble like it ain't like that. It ain't like that. But you see now, like even with our nonviolent protests, the police come out and act crazy, and it forced people to be able to see like man. And then when you saw the protests at the Capitol and then the police wasn't acting crazy, it put it in that forefront where like it showed people that have that mentality of nah, that ain't really still going on to oh, that is really still
It
going
really
on.
is.
And it propels the movement forward to try and get some of these reforms and different
Right.
things in place.
Get some of the reforms and knowing who we should talk to in the community and all of those and not stopping. And not stopping. Just not stopping because you may never get equality to what you may never get equality to what we feel like is equal. But in some places all we want is peace. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you just want peace. Meaning I want to be able to take care of my family equivalent, you know, kind of thing. And so it's you get to the place where you have to know how to maneuver and who to talk to, what politicians and all of those things. That's part of the faith business community because when we as your brother Jeffrey had a good conversation about the power of the group being able to move agendas forward. And so we just look forward to um more conversations. I'm glad that we didn't leave that part out because that's good. That gave that brought my heat up, you know. But the conversation will continue. We have just started our private Facebook group that you can find, which is going to be DC Conversations. We're going to ask that you go over and join the Facebook group. Um, and like us on Facebook and Instagram. What you think, Danielle?
Yep.
Who you got over there? Who's that, Maddie?
Elijah.
Come here, my Elijah. I want to see you.
He said he eating and
Uh,
he's sweaty from he just went to
he
two
not ready for the
tryouts.
camera.
He said he went to two tryouts today for AAU.
Okay, all right. I ain't gonna put him on. I ain't gonna put
But
him on live.
yeah, but I definitely enjoyed the conversation and being able to discuss things, and I look forward to watching some of your other conversations with different guests and being a guest on your conversations, the Dream Economy
Yeah, you know I gotta have
conversation.
you back because we have so much more to come. You know to deal and
Just
to
put that disclaimer because I go left quick. I
this
when my
this is
mind
the
went, I said, "Did I
conversation
say
you
that
do
on
not want to
live?"
miss. When you see Danielle Dates is being the guest, you never know where that's
I'm
gonna
like,
turn.
"Did I say that on live? Did I say that I thought he was a
It's good though. It's good. I love it. I love the authenticity. Am I saying that right? I love being authentic. You know,
authenticity?" Yeah,
that's my song. I choose to be as authentic as I can be, you know. So I appreciate that. So yes,
yeah.
don't forget to subscribe, follow us on Facebook, and go over and join our Facebook group live. Okay. So
All
this is
right,
everything might not work smoothly, but I am getting ready to log off, and we're gonna see how this works. Okay.
all right.
All righty. I'll see you later.
Bye.
He gave me instructions. Wait, don't hang up yet. Let me see if I can get these instructions. All right. Okay.
The team.